Here's my book. James the Connoisseur Cat. Got pictures and everything.
You excited for this?
I don't really care.
Sam.
It's got pictures.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to a new weekly. This week is the buzzword-a-thon and it is June. I'm wearing my book dress. It is Tuesday. I didn't do anything remotely for this channel yesterday. I helped Mum with the garden, went into work. It ended up being quite a busy day. I was up at 6 AM, but it was quite stressful. Mainly because I'm super emotional. I know it's no way to start this video, but it's that time of the month, not just buzzword-a-thon, but the time where Jess is super hormonal. Anywho, I picked up Coraline for my first pick on the buzzword-a-thon. The buzzword for this month is a name or title. So I have Coraline. I have made a single dent. I've made a small dent on page 45. I think this is about 190 pages, something like that. So I've made a decent amount of progress. The writing is really large, so I will finish this today. So that will be my first book pick for the buzzword. And then I have been to the library for the first time in forever. However, they're not open for browsing, so you can only go in. We can't even go in. You go to the door, say your name, and any books you've reserved, they will pass to you. So I got Sabrina. So this is inspired by the Netflix show. This isn't something that was out first. And this is by Sarah Reese Brennan. So that was my first pick from the library. And then we have Song of Achilles, which I am so looking forward to. This is going to be my next read. I'm so excited. Going to be emotional. I've heard wonderful things about this book. I am anticipating this being a 5-star. And that is by Madeline Miller. And then lastly, we have The Death of Mrs. Westway by Ruth Ware. And I'm expecting this to be another 4-star. Her books are usually around about 4-star for me, so I'm going to guess this is going to be the same. But I'm looking forward to that as well. This will be the second one after Song of Achilles, and then lastly we'll pick up Sabrina. But I'm hoping to get all of those books read this week. It's super ambitious, probably not going to happen. On the 6th of June is the Queer Lit Readathon, so I'm going to pause on my buzzword reading and go on to doing the Queer Lit Readathon. So there's a lot of books to be read. I am trying to edit last week's video. I wanted to get it up today, but things are just absolutely crazy. I've been trying to help Mum with the garden because my dad, stepmom and brothers are coming the weekend. So we're trying to sort the garden, we're trying to sort the house. I need to clean the carpets again, and I'm trying to sort my car issues. So there's a lot happening. What's this? Oh dear, there's a lot happening. So I will keep you updated, and I'm going to try my best to get my video up tonight. Probably won't happen. It'll probably be tomorrow or maybe even Thursday, but I want it up ASAP. So I'm going to do some more editing and read, possibly listen to some audiobooks at the same time to get through this buzzword reading challenge. It is Tuesday. No, it's not. Tuesday was yesterday. It's Wednesday. It's because this week I thought I would start filming on Monday, but I didn't. So it's Wednesday. Yesterday I did finish Coraline by Neil Gaiman, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's very good for children. This book is a lot more child friendly than I think the movie was. This book is also a lot simpler. I love the illustrations in this book. I think like they're very well done. They're very, I want to say beautiful, but some of them are still a little bit dark. They're very strange in a way. They're a little bit different. They remind me of a lot of illustrations in books that I used to read as a like child / teenager. So I did really enjoy this book. I think it's a beautiful edition and it is good for children. However, I think the movie actually brought this story to life. I think the movie is actually better than the book. I feel like they're quite different in age ranges. Like the movie can be appreciated more from an adult's perspective, whereas the book feels a lot more for kind of a child / teen, a young teen. So I enjoyed it. It was a good first pick. I'm glad I've read it. Next up, I picked up Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and it's beautiful. Just wow. I found it quite funny actually. On page 8 it stated that the bow is actually a weapon of cowards. I found that quite interesting. This book has a lot of Greek mythology in, a lot about gods and things like that, and it does really interest me, and that kind of made me want to read it all that bit more, especially since there is gay romance in this book. However, we all know I'm not the best reader. I love reading books. I love reading. I don't even mind reading aloud, but I do struggle from time to time and I get a bit tongue-tied and my words kind of can't come out very well. Could be that I'm a bit dyslexic, but I can't say for sure because I've never been tested for it. My teachers in school always thought I was slightly behind just because of my age. I was the youngest in the year, so I'm not sure. Anyway, I find it difficult to pronounce the names for the gods especially and the kings in this book. But apart from that, I mean, I'm on page 90. So I've just done non-stop reading since I got up at midday. And I am so stuck in with this book. I am really enjoying it. I don't want to stop reading it. I don't even want to go to work just so I can carry on reading it. But the romance is beautiful. It's not even romance yet, but because I know they're going to be romantically involved, I already love their relationship as it is on page 90. It starts out with our main character, our protagonist. I am not 100% sure how to say his name. I have already forgotten. Patroclus, I think it is. He starts this story off at 5 years old, and now I'm on page 80. Him and Achilles are 13 and they are currently with a centaur, which is quite amazing, and he is teaching them things about medicine, about hunting, just lots of different things like musical elements. He is just there to teach Achilles, and our protagonist has kind of gone along with him. And there was a point where he ran away and I thought, oh no, it's going to be ages before he finds Achilles, and it wasn't that long, so it really warmed my heart. So much is happening. There is quite a lot to take in, and although we're jumping from year to year, it does it quite smoothly and in quite an amazing way. It is told beautifully. The writing is stunning. I cannot wait to read more, to pick this back up. I am going into work in an hour, so I won't be reading any more at the moment. Possibly when I get home I'll pick this back up because I am really enjoying it. I did expect to love this book. However, I think I'm going to try a bit harder with name pronunciations and figuring out kind of how to say these names. But I find it beautiful. I'm absolutely loving it. It is very highly rated on GOODREADS, on Amazon, a lot of places. The audiobook sounds really good. I wasn't able to download it, but I did listen to a sample and it sounds lovely. So if you're interested in audiobooks, I would recommend this one as well. but I am pleased with myself for just picking it up because I thought it would be a difficult read for myself. It is stunning and I really enjoy it. So I'm going to carry on with this. I do have the solid copy of My Dark Vanessa. Which is here. And I have saved this for the buzzword-a-thon as well. However, this is available on Scribd, so I could possibly listen to the audiobook of this one. I do love this cover. I think it's quite beautiful. I really like these covers that have got the page underneath that kind of sticks out. Can't remember what that's called, but I quite like that. So I could start listening to the audiobook of this one and possibly do a bit of reading and listening. Especially since while I'm doing deliveries and driving, I could be listening to an audiobook as well. So I might start this, but I'm not 100% sure. I kind of want to focus on one at a time, especially because these two are both very hyped and very different style books. So I'm not sure. I don't know whether I'll start listening to this one. It does depend how my evening goes or if there's anything else I could possibly listen to. This will just be a video of updating you on books I'm reading, specifically for the buzzword-a-thon. It's not going to be like my previous vlogs where I've been trying to include a lot more lifestyle as well as reading. I'm just going to keep this to a solid reading vlog, just because that is all I can manage at the moment. I haven't even got last week's weekly uploaded yet, and I really wanted to do it for today. When I get home, I'm going to want to pick up a song of Achilles, so I don't know if I'll be able to edit. Tomorrow is my day off, but I'm taking mum to Bristol, so again, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done, but since my hair is just crazy, isn't it? But since it is my day off, and although I'm taking her to Bristol to get some medication, when I get back in the evening I will have all evening to either read or edit, but I really want to get last week's video up. It is Thursday and I had a little trim. It wasn't by someone local. I actually went and got it done by Libby when we were back in Bristol earlier this morning, and I love it. I think it's so nice. I'm so happy with it. Still growing it, but it's so much nicer now. I've still got the length at the top and it's just short on the sides. So happy with it, absolutely love it. Let's talk about the Song of Achilles. Wow, I am on page 142. I stayed up last night and read for a good hour to get through more of this book, and it is so beautiful. Patroclus is my absolute favourite. He is the protagonist that we follow in this story, and I love his character. He is such an understanding person. So far they've got to 16 years old and a lot has happened already. I am not ready for this book to break my heart. I absolutely love the relationship he has with Achilles. It is wonderful. I know that they do end up entering a war at the moment. Achilles' mother is trying to hide him to stop him being sent to the war. I keep forgetting how to pronounce Patroclus' name. It's just gets me every time. There isn't too much like mythology in this book. There is just the right amount at the moment. I am obsessed with this love story. I'm so scared for how this story is going to go because I feel so attached already. It's just so fantastic. And this being a library book makes me want to get my own copy. This is definitely going to go on my list of books to own. Well, at the moment, let's just calm down just in case, as we don't quite know what's going to happen. If you are watching my vlogs, especially the long videos, as the one I'm currently editing is super long, if you have watched the whole video, I hope it was worth your time. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying what I'm reading at the moment. I am going to carry on editing. I'm going to carry on reading some of this book because part of my video is currently exporting. I'm going to read some of this while I wait, and then I will continue to edit. The other thing I was going to mention, if you have read this book, there is a part of this book, I think it was like chapter like 12 maybe, possibly maybe chapter 11, somewhere around there, where something happened. No, I think it was a bit later. Anyway, it's recently happened, and the way Patroclus deals with what has happened is just so mature, especially for a 16-year-old boy, and he handles himself so well, and he deals with what Achilles does in such a mature way. And it's just, it was so impressive to me how he handled everything and how strong a character he is, like strong-willed. And I love that he's becoming more sure of himself and standing up for what he wants and what he believes in. So I wanted to add that in because I forgot to mention it a second ago. Well, about an hour ago maybe, I filmed a quick clip, just a little bit of my sobs, so you could see what a mess I was in after reading Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Oh wow, this book is probably the best book I've ever read. I sobbed so much, it absolutely broke my heart. Such a beautiful love story, so powerful, but so devastating. I just cannot recommend it enough. However, it absolutely ruined me. I'm about to take the dogs out. I will give it a bit more of an update, but there's no doubt about it. This is a 5 out of 5. Absolutely stunning. Just fantastic. And do you know what? It did not disappoint me. Not in the slightest. But I am just so devastated by things that happened in this book. Such a powerful story. Next up for the Buzzwordathon, I've gone on to start My Dark Vanessa, and this is by Kate Elizabeth Russell, and this is a super hyped book. I have only just started it. I just read the first couple of pages. I'm only on page 5, but I'm about to take the dogs out. This book is about a 15-year-old that sleeps with her teacher, and then another student comes forth saying the teacher assaulted her sexually. So we start with that already being out in the story. So the teacher is being accused of sexual harassment, and then this girl is trying to get Vanessa to come forth as well. That is all I know about this. Sam said that I should be reading something happy next, although this could be classed as a type of love story, but I don't think it's going to be the type of love story like A Song of Achilles that absolutely destroys you. I will keep you updated. I will give you a bit more of a bigger update later. I've got to quickly take the dogs out before Mum's parcels arrive. When I get home, I will be doing some more reading. I am working tonight. When I get home, I hope to read some more before bed, but I don't know. So I will let you know when I have more information.
I look like for a bush.
You do look a little bit dishevelled. I haven't managed to get much reading done. I'm on page 118. I'm finding this... Hang on a second. Sam just wants to show you her belly. I'm always interested when there's quite a large gap in a relationship. But when it comes to a teacher-student relationship, I don't know, like, I'm not that interested in that story. Except for the fact that this kind of puts it into a perspective that makes it feel a lot more real. And it's also really hard because there's a lot of grooming in this. And the teacher doesn't seem very likable, not only as a person and his actions and what he does, but he doesn't even sound very appealing. He just, nothing about him makes you think that he would be the type of person, and I think that's what makes it a little bit scary. Our main character, Vanessa, is completely delusional. I do feel sorry for 15-year-old Vanessa. However, 32-year-old Vanessa seems to be just stuck, like she is not living her life. She is really still stuck on being that 15-year-old girl, and it is years later. I am just checking in for the Buzzwordathon reading vlog because I've had to hit pause on my Dark Vanessa because it's the start of the Queer Lit readathon. So I got to page 159, so I got quite far into this book and I am really interested in what's going to happen, but the more I read this, the more I dislike Vanessa. To start with, I kind of understood her, whereas I just think she is being sucked in a bit too much. Not only that, I think she's starting to feel uncomfortable with the type of things this teacher wants her to do, and yet she doesn't know how to express herself without making him mad. So he is super controlling. I didn't really understand the like of him from the get-go, but it's just becoming that much worse. So I am interested to see how this goes. This is a lot kind of more realistic but darker than expected. I know there are stories out there with a student-teacher relationship that are quite passionate, whereas this is a lot of grooming, and he is also very manipulative. I think they both kind of initiated it to start with. I don't think just one of them is at fault, but it's just got to a point where it's a very toxic relationship. It already started out being wrong and now it's just so much worse. So I will keep you updated with my thoughts on this. I just hope by the end of this book, she can kind of put this behind her and kind of move on with her life, because she's 32 in some of the chapters and she's still not moved on from it. So that is my hope for this book. It is very well written. It is very interesting, but quite dark. It is 20 to 1 in the morning. But I can't remember the last time I updated you on my Dark Vanessa. I'm struggling with this book now. I was finding it, I want to say enjoyable, but I don't know if that feels like the right word, just because of the topic. It's got to the point now where she's in a different school, so she has been separated from this teacher. She doesn't even go to the same school anymore. She even started talking to an older guy that she met randomly, but it's just, not only is it very toxic, the relationship, but it's also how she is as a person. It just all seems very twisted. It's a very difficult read, and although I was interested and somewhat enjoying finding out about this, it's got to a point where I'm like, I just don't know if I can really get behind Vanessa. I'm finding it even hard to kind of like her as a character as a whole. It is hard, and there isn't much I can say about it without giving too much away. Just here to update you on what is happening with my reading and a little bit of what is happening with my life. So I have been listening to an audiobook on Scribd. Scribd I actually prefer to Audible because you get more than one book per month. However, you're very limited to the amount, to what books are on offer to listen to. Anyway, I've been listening to The Death of Vivek Oji, and I'm really glad I listened to this one because I was waiting to pick up a physical copy, and pronouncing their names, let alone the author. I mean, I'm going to put a picture up so you can see what the book looks like and who wrote it. But the book itself, I don't know what I expected going into this. However, I did expect to be enjoying it more. Saying that, I'm also reading My Dark Vanessa, and I'm not enjoying these books as much as I thought I would. My Dark Vanessa is very well written. It makes you feel very uncomfortable. There was a little bit of time in between, I want to say, a certain part that happens, but it's very spoilery. I think going past like 200 pages maybe, there is a bit of a lull where I just wasn't bothered. But sometimes I do think it's my mood and not the book, because My Dark Vanessa is absolutely brilliant. It's so well written. It makes you feel so uncomfortable, but that just goes to show what good writing is as well. So I am close to finishing My Dark Vanessa, but I'm closer to finishing The Death of Vivek Oji. And that book is about a family from Nigeria, and they open the door to find Vivek dead in a body bag at their door. And it's the story of friendship and secrets and family ties, and then eventually what has led to Vivek's death. So I find it quite difficult to follow, but I don't know if that's just me. I've like been watching some reviews on this book, and so many people just really love it. Like, people have cried after reading this. You've got people that have just rated it 4 or 5 stars. They absolutely love it, whereas most of the time I'm just confused, like, what is going on? I do like that there is gay and lesbian and bisexual in this book. I think that is fantastic. I love that so much. So the representation is on point, but this book just isn't what I expected. Also, I have been thinking with my channel, I keep changing my mind as to what I'm doing. I want this to be booktube, to create bookish content. I want just casual life vlogs as well, but I think I'm finding it hard at the moment with juggling everything, because I'm working so much, and then on my days off I have so much to do at the moment. So I might try filming a little bit of what I'm doing, although not all of it is that interesting. I feel like today's been pretty good. Like, I did the grocery shopping this morning. I've done a load of editing for this video. So I've almost completed this video, and everything I'm filming from this point onwards, I will just add as I go while I finish these 2 books. I got some Father's Day cards this morning. I got some 16-year-old cards this morning as my brother turned 16. And I'm just about to eat my dinner. Gonna eat my dinner, gonna listen to more of The Death of Vivek Oji, and then I will take the dogs out. I have saved taking the dogs out to a bit later because the temperature is a bit nicer. If I go by myself, I'll listen to more audiobook. However, the neighbours are out, so they might ask to join me. So I will be taking the dogs out soon, and then when I get home, Mum and I have got some TV to watch if there's no more football, but we don't know because the football's been on. And I was planning on trying to film a bit more, to do more vloggy stuff, but at the moment I think I need to be okay with filming whatever I've got time for, and whenever I feel okay to do it. I've been forgetting to take my tablets, so that obviously takes a toll on me because my mental health is low, and then I'm not taking the tablets to help with that. But I feel like I am looking after myself in a better way at the moment, and I am listening to what my body wants. So there are positives to that as well. I'm going to eat my dinner before it goes cold now and listen to more Death of Vivek Oji.
What's he doing up there?
That's not him.
Isn't it?
No.
That's right then.
There he is.
Ledger's fall, did you say?
Taken.
Right! You're supposed to wait for us to anchor the tether! It seems like you anchored the tether!
Love it.
So I only have an hour, maybe 2 hours left of my book on Scribd, which is The Death of Vivek Oji. And do you know what? I do like it when a book lets you know what's going to happen at the end. Like, you're just reading up until that point and you're so distracted by the fact that you know that this character is going to die, that a good narrator or writer will be able to add in some twists or like surprises and throw you off. There are so many different perspectives of this book, and it's just how Vivek has kind of affected, or how he's left his mark on each person's life. Nobody really knows what's going on with Vivek. We don't even know what's going on with Vivek, which is, I think it's the point that you don't really know, like, because he used to experience blackouts, and what made his parents really kind of start to see a change in him is when he grew his hair out. And there's a lot of talk about him being kind of seen as a girl or feminine, and there's a lot of talks about hair and things like that throughout the book. It is really interesting how Vivek has affected so many people's lives. And it is just the story of his life, because as the same day he was born, his mum lost her mum. So you've got a death and a birth on the same day. So a lot of people grieve on his birthday, which is also interesting, because to start with, they don't tell him why everyone is sad on his birthday. I'm struggling to really figure out where I sit with this at the moment. I mean, I'm on chapter 12, I think. I could be wrong. But his mum is currently trying to find out what happened to him, and some people aren't speaking, some secrets are coming out. I do know the last chapter is emotional. I have heard it from many booktubers and book reviews. I've looked on GOODREADS. So many people love this book, and it is beautiful. I'm currently struggling with it at the moment, and I don't really know where I sit. Hello, good morning. Last night I finished The Death of Vivek Oji, and I have to say, it really was difficult for where I sat with this book, because there were parts that were absolutely amazing, breathtaking, excellent, and some characters were amazingly written, were great characters, whereas some characters I just didn't care that much about. I felt personally like this was a difficult one because I loved it, yet there were moments where I was like, oh, this is taking a lull. Towards the end, I think for me it was quite, I want to say a slow burner, but it wasn't. I got into it really quickly, and then there were parts where I wasn't interested, and then towards the end I got sucked back in again. So it wasn't that smooth a journey for myself, but I will say it is a 4 out of 5 for me personally. I can see why people do love it. I can see why it is a 5 out of 5 for some. Towards the end, the reveals were fantastic, really good. There was maybe a couple of things that I actually guessed and got correct, but around that there were so many surprises. It was such a fantastic story, really heartbreaking. For me, it was obvious who was with him when he died. For me, that was an obvious part, but it was still so emotional. I didn't cry. I know a lot of people sobbed at the ending of this book, and again, I can see why. It is a truly fantastic book, and I can really see why people love it. Anyway, I've got loads of work to do today, not for my main job, loads of other work, so I look a mess and even got out of pajamas, but I will be colouring my hair and listening to some of My Dark Vanessa, so I will update you on that. But yes, I still recommend Vivek Oji, and it is a fantastic book, so cultural and really inspirational. So a solid 4 out of 5, and that's still a pretty good rating. Gonna finish making my coffee and get back to doing some work. Tomorrow, last night I finished My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, and do you know what? Through most of this video, I've been saying how difficult this is to read and how dark it is and how I couldn't quite get into it. And I definitely think my mood affects how I feel on books, because yesterday I was feeling so much better just in general, like especially mental health wise. And I did end up thinking to myself, this book is just so well written, it's so good, it's so dark, so it makes you so uncomfortable, really makes you think. Like at some points I did state that I didn't even like Vanessa, when actually looking back, especially yesterday when finishing this book, you look at how she's got PTSD, how everything about her relationship with this teacher has affected her whole life, and how it coming to light and being made more public and more aware, even after it was already quite public with the students and 2 different schools she attended, how that has damaged her and the things that she goes through. I think this book, I did end up giving it a 5 out of 5. I was really surprised by how much I appreciated it, by how much I thought to myself, it's weird because it's so dark and not really a nice topic, yet it's just such a good book. And it made me think, this is obviously why, not why, but I can kind of relate to people that do like, in a way, horror novels or dark stories that are twisted and yet quite uncomfortable, because I can't get over how good this was and how well written the characters were, how the character development went. I'm so pleased with how it ended. I really enjoyed this book, and it's so funny because all my updates were a bit meh about it. But overall, it's a 5 out of 5. I think it's a fantastic book. Throughout this video, we've read 2 books that were 5-star, we've read 1 4-star and 1 3-star. So I think that's quite good for 4 books in one video. I have picked up another library book that I did show you in this video, which is The Death of Miss Westway. I started it this morning, so, well, last night I read 2 pages. So I started it properly this morning, but I'm not going to include my full update in this video because this is the end of the video. However, this might be mentioned in my next one. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing for my next video, so it might be mentioned. If not, it will be in my wrap up. Why are you frowning at me?
I'm not frowning at you.
You look like you're frowning.
I'm not.
She was frowning.
I want to sit down.
Well, sit down then.
Well, phone's right there.
Oh god, this is the end of the video. I'm going to carry on reading this. I am actually about to go back to the library to pick up another book. This book is something I've wanted to own for so long, but because at the moment I can't buy myself books, I'm getting it out of the library. But I've been so excited. I've wanted to read this all year. So going to the library to pick up a book. I'm going to try and finish Mrs. Westway first. We'll see. Anyway, ending this video now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a super duper good one. And I will see you in my next video.
Bye.